Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. If you haven't seen a hot take, ladies and gentlemen, well, a hot take is where a few friends get in a basement. We like to give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, a movie, or a game. Today, it's going to be another TV show, and that TV show is The Penguin. Here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
You too, Gooch. You too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Listen,
you never return my calls.
It hoits my feelings. It hoits. It really hoits my feelings. God, Gooch, how's it going, man? I'm excited to talk to you.
Dude, we got some good shows, man.
We do.
Agatha All Along was pretty good. It wasn't the, it wasn't.
Would you say it exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, for sure. But Penguin.
I agree.
Talk about fucking television. Holy shit.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
This show was fucking
Anyways, that's it.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say, man. Like, I
Don't even know where to start.
favorite show of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't know if we're gonna get a second season of the show right now. This is it.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Oz again in Batman Part 2. But fuck, man. What do you have to add to that?
I can only echo that sentiment, Gooch, and also add this. It's one of my favorite HBO shows in a long time, for sure.
Nice.
I definitely agree. I did not expect, definitely when they announced the show, I wasn't blown away and super excited by any means. Where I was like, oh, Colin Farrell's awesome in the Batman.
Oh,
I can almost,
sure?
yeah,
Okay.
he's almost unrecognizable. I kind of feel like I almost forget he's playing the character, oddly enough, half the time in the show. Okay, let's see what they can do. Oh, okay, it's the aftermath of the Batman, the rise of Oscorp and the kind of evolution.
Underworld.
Yeah, and the evolution
out
of
with the old, in with the new. That's really what this show is about in terms of Gotham state of crime,
right, and just crime families and everything. And there's a lot of vying for power. Sophia Falcone shows back up, who was an incredible.
Does not show well. Yeah, in the show.
Right.
But we're introduced to another arm of the Falcone crime family, being Sophia.
Yeah, we even see her brother Alberto, who's taking over for who's the dad? Carmine after he dies in the Batman. We of course only see him for a moment, but I thought that whole setup with Oz and how he just shoots him out of pure anger and with no forethought really is emblematic of the entire show in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And how Oz works as a character. He's unabashedly awful, and I love it. We've talked about this before. They're not trying. They sympathize. They make him sympathetic to a degree, but then there's a line in which you're like, oh, there's none for you.
I think the main vehicle of that is taking in Vic,
right?
And kind of taking him under his wing,
almost like a
Penguin. Get it?
A Robin.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Gooch, you know how he finds him too? He's stealing fucking tires off his
Jason
car.
Todd, baby.
I thought it's so funny at the end. I was like, oh my god, he's his Robin. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And of course how that concludes, but yeah, man, it's a truly fantastic show, and I think it builds upon everything that the Batman sets up in very interesting ways and expands upon the Riddler's impact on Gotham and what is going to happen next, and the obvious setup for the Batman. It was fantastic, dude. Yeah, the part 2. I'm excited. I'm so excited, and I love the show.
Yeah. I rewatched the Batman before the finale, and it's so funny how little of the Penguin is actually in that movie.
Yeah, he's only got 2 or 3 scenes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We got the El Rada. Are you guys getting me?
Come on.
Yeah. What are you showing me? Come on. Yeah, like those scenes are really good and funny, and he has some quality scenes, but it's not much. And seeing the Penguin taken to a level I don't think could have been done by Christopher Nolan. Seeing him taken to a grounded level, but also
very much in the comic vein, I would agree. Even.
Yeah, I was talking to Kathy, watched the Batman with me, my girlfriend, and we were kind of looking at it. I was kind of explaining it to her. I'm like, this isn't like Chris Nolan Gotham and Batman. It's grounded, but there's a level about it that feels a bit unreal. Gotham really doesn't feel like a real place. It feels a bit... It's real, but there's something to it that can disconnect you from a real city.
And I think the main thing with Nolan's movies with that is, it's clearly Chicago. There's skyscrapers and it just feels like a normal city.
Right.
Yeah.
Batman, Matt Reeves Gotham feels like the Gotham from the animated series, or something we're accustomed
Something
to seeing
out
in
of time,
comics.
almost, yeah.
And Oz Cobb, the Penguin, feels exactly like that. It's not too unbelievable. Like, he is simply a grotesque looking man with a club
A disabled
foot.
man.
Yeah. And I love the bringing in the disabled portion of it. Like, Vic has a stutter, and it's not overused. It's there when it kind of needs to be, like that scene in the restaurant where the waiter kind of finishes his sentence.
Doesn't feel forced.
And Oz can relate as somebody who's disabled and been put down for that and been made fun of and been made lesser from it. You know, he kind of was like, yo, like, let him finish his fucking sentence. He'll get there, kind of thing. I really like that because I don't think that's something from any sort of Penguin character we've ever seen. Like this, Robin Lord Taylor's Penguin from Gotham is good. I mean, we get like 6 or 7 seasons of that show for it to be good, but it is a good interpretation and a similar interpretation, honestly. But this is just taken to a degree in which the quality of television and writing is just there 100% of the time.
Well, it does. It feels like an HBO quality show about the Penguin, and it feels like they really thought through his identity and what makes him tick and how truly fucked up he is.
Which is his mother.
Which is he's a mama's boy.
His mother.
He just wants his mama all to himself.
You're my big
mother.
bulk of a boy.
He's like, tell me my mother. Come on, is she okay? Don't hurt my fucking mother.
Oswald. You fucking
loser. Yeah, I thought that whole, dichotomy between him and his mom and just their relationship was sick and weird, but then like you didn't
as sons ourselves.
Absolutely. It was way too close to a degree, but then also like she's obviously not a good person. And then it's like a chicken and the egg thing. It's like, well, did she make Oz a bad person, or like was Oz always going to be a bad person? Because she does seem like a major piece of shit.
It's like I would say it's like almost like a 70-30.
Right.
Like
right.
It's him being bad,
of course.
Also her also being sort of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Even before his brother's death, and like that scene of like, like he brings up his brothers a lot in the beginning, but we don't really get it. Like they died, something happened, and we don't know. And then we get that flashback of, they go out to play and they're in the waterways in Gotham, which becomes Penguin's lair, which is weird that the place he killed his brothers is the place where he decides to change Gotham. He changed there once before. Now he's changing there again. Not just changing himself, but the city. The fact that like, he locks him in there. They think they think he's making fun of him, but they're really not.
No, they're just being brother. Yeah, it's just brotherly.
He
fuck
leaves him
arounds.
there, and like he does nothing.
Well, and that's the thing. They
He
never
doesn't save him.
And they never, like you're saying, his brothers aren't pieces of shit. They seem like nice guys who like care about their brother. And like, they're just fucking around with them like brothers do.
When they're walking down the street and Jack is the older one, and he's like, oh, that's Rex Calabrese.
Yeah.
And like, stay
away from him, man. Like he's not good news.
But like Oz even then is like, Rex, we
what's up, man? Yeah.
Like he clearly, and somebody obviously his mom works for, so there's some correlation.
Or knows
there,
at least very well. Yeah. But just his whole setup is amazing, and it works perfectly for this almost psychopathic thought process that he has, and he can't even admit to himself by the end of like almost the series what is real. I think he does grasp it, and especially after that conversation with Vic, you realize like, oh no, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he is, because there's that thing of like, the South Park episode, the fish sticks joke. It gets to the point where Cartman really believes he made that joke. Like, you see his thought process by the end of the show, and he really believes that he sat there and made that joke, and it wasn't Butters or whoever supposedly actually made it. I kind of thought that was what his thought process was, that no, he really thought he didn't kill his brothers. He loved his brothers, but he had tricked himself into thinking that, like, he didn't mean to do it. He's not a bad guy.
Right.
But we realized after that conversation with Vic, at least I felt like, oh no, he knows exactly what he is.
Oh, they went to go see a movie. Now Oz has his mom all to himself. They're watching a Fred Astaire movie. He's basking in his attention from his mom. And then like also he gets his persona from that movie, something he enjoys with his mom, seeing, this guy in a suit and a top hat, informs who he wants to become when he grows up, and like this dedication of like loyalty to his mom when like he was supposed to be killed that night.
That whole reveal was great. We see that night so many different times throughout the show, and each time more is added on, and by the end we realize
and Rex being like, your son's a problem, I'll kill him.
And like it's funny because he tries to, at first he's like, listen, you could do two things. Like, one is you can nurture that. Like, he loves you. He's some of the craziest, most successful people on earth have been people who have had some not so great relationships with their mother, or not so healthy relationships. So you can nurse that and really like take hold of that. Or if you can't do anything with that, I can take care of him. And yeah, like you said, she's going to do it. She's getting him ready to go out that night. And then it shows it from his perspective that she asks him, like she's crying to him, that like
that I'll call sexual tension of that dance.
So odd. Even when he lays with her in bed.
Yeah.
Where he's like
really
cuddling
weird.
her. Again, very not healthy, odd relationship with the mother.
Yeah.
And even obviously, we're jumping around.
But
that last scene,
no, we're not. This is great.
With his mom, with the girl dressed up like his mom, and he's just she's like, tell me she's proud. You're proud of me, ma, and she's like, I'm so proud of you. Yeah,
you're proud of me, Trio.
And even that moment where like he's just like she's going brain vegetable dead, and he's like, tell me I'm pretty proud, ma. Just that's all I fucking wanted. That's all I wanted. And then he can't even do the decency of doing what he promised her, and like almost keeps her around as like a punishment. It feels like he knows that she's in there by the end. She's a vegetable just sitting in the room, and like
and she revealed to him that he is a monster.
Yeah, and she tried to kill him.
And he like does, it's almost like he can't even
that's what I mean.
To process
that's what I mean. He like has like this. That's what led me to believe like that thing. Like there's a psychological wall that he put up that he can't even believe that he did that to his brothers. But no, I think he fully realizes it. And yeah, his mom, again, a healthy mother, if you found out your son, if you really thought your son killed his brothers.
He did.
And
he did.
It's
and
not a thought. No, I know. No, I'm sorry.
Did.
Like she has she knows that as much as she can know it without hard proof. You take your son to a therapist and you try to help. Like, obviously he's fucked up. You don't just
have money for that.
Fair, but you also then don't just fucking tell your. Like, you are a fucked up person if you then get another person to kill your son because of that. You are obviously not right in the head.
Right.
And then that moment that Oz has that we see from her perspective finally of him being like, Mom, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna get you a penthouse on the top suite, and I'm gonna do, and like that almost like brings her back around, but she can never fully forget it.
Promises of like the life she's always wanted,
right.
Not from her husband,
right.
But her son.
Which is funny how we didn't get much about him. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
Yeah, I just was surprised we didn't get more from him. They really did just like not talk about his dad that much.
Yeah, but the show takes place a week after the Batman, so the Riddler has done his deed.
We see the aftermath, which is like awful. That scene.
Yeah, the area that's flooded, it's still shitty. Like things are not great in Gotham as the Batman says at the end of the movie, things are going to get worse before they get better. And there is a power vacuum happening with the criminality of Gotham. Falcone, the leader of the Falcone crime family, Carmine Falcone, is dead. His kids are now coming into the picture.
His kid then gets killed.
Salvatore Maroni is in jail, so the Maronis are kind of out of it. And the other gangs are sort of
picking the bones,
right? Trying to figure out what they're doing. It looks like, but they're not exactly yet because they're smaller. They can't just jump at it like Oswald can, being Carmine Falcone's number one, and Sophia getting out of prison. Also, again, somebody it doesn't seem like she's vying for power in the beginning, but is like almost called back into it. And I love that being a part of Sophia's character of like, she's kind of trying to be better than her father and not be like her father, but in the same time, she ends
up being exactly like her father. Yeah.
Really cool juxtaposition between these two characters of a son and a daughter living in the shadows and being nurtured by their mother and father.
Right. And I mean, you even just see how, like, I like the idea, the through line of how terrible the Falcones are to their own. Like,
Right.
Sophia's whole story is really interesting. I think she's probably one of the shining lights of the series, right next to Penguin.
Kristen Milotti, man, holy shit,
Kicked fucking ass.
A
So
powerhouse of a female character,
and I love how they
and a female villain.
Absolutely. And so is she a character in the comics at all?
Yeah, we see Sophia Falcone in The Long Halloween, which
Okay.
is what the Batman is from, and also Long Halloween sequel, Dark Victory. And I think she's in one other comic, but she's
not like a huge player though. Besides that,
right? And she's the Hangman in that. So they're pulling from only like 1 or 2 runs where that character's involved.
But even
it's a bit different, but
for sure,
you know.
Well, and I like how they expand upon the thing from the Batman with Falcone, like how he killed his mother,
Glad you're bringing it up. It was
or Catwoman's mother, and then like we realize, oh, he's like a serial killer who's been doing this
for years
to a lot of women.
Yeah,
and then when he's confronted by his daughter, he just
you're insane.
Immediately,
like
it doesn't even matter. Like the fact that she's questioning it at all, he's like, oh,
instantly. It's not like it goes on. It's like the first.
Yeah, she's like, "What? I don't know what you're saying. You should get the fuck out of here before something bad happens." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, is that Mark Strong's accent?
Yeah, that was exactly. I know.
By the way, that recast, I was kind of annoyed at it at first. Didn't really mind it in the end.
I think he works, especially just for how little he's in it. I think, and you need that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he did a really great job. And then just that scene of her talking to her whole family and being like, "I was just genuinely surprised at how many of you wrote letters to the court about me," and that's it. And then she ends up being what she was made out to be. She kills her entire family, and I think it just leads except the
Gia,
daughter, who then
she turns her into her
exactly, and just shoos her. Like I love how she just kills her, and then she's like, all right, bye-bye. Like I thought she was going to maybe take
into the orphan system, and we've seen that again with the Riddler, who talks all about that, him being in the orphanage, and also the Batman being an orphan.
It's like a circle.
Yeah. Gotham is a pit, man.
Dude, it really is. And I got to give Matt Reeves and the show, I forget the showrunner's name on this, who did a lot of the development too. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Really did an amazing job of fleshing out this Gotham and why it's in just the pit of despair we see it in, and why we need Batman there, and why he's gonna have to come. And I know, a complaint for people was like, not a complaint, but a thing I saw online. I was like, where's where's Batman? Because where the fuck is Batman? And I think that comes down to how long do they say how long this takes place over the course of?
So
it feels short, like a week to 2 weeks.
It ends in the winter. There's a time jump.
Oh, okay. All right.
Once Sophia starts doing things,
I see.
There's a time jump into the winter. So I would say it's probably 3 to 4 months,
right?
If that.
Okay. That's wild. All right.
Yeah. So it's at some point. It begins in November and ends, I would probably say, January, February.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. The one thing I will say about Sophia's character is it's just sad because like her the leader of the Falcone family, her uncle is like, leave, and she's like, I won't let them step over me again. And like if she just left, then she would have been away. She
like
nothing bad would have happened. Yeah, that would have pleased them. But it inevitably still would have been the better thing for her to do for herself.
Yeah, which
she couldn't escape the cycle of the Falcones, and she just fell right back into it. And I mean, we talked about it in the Discord. The Arkham in this is truly terrible. It looks like one of the worst places ever to be. I think they did a really good job of explaining why she kind of became who she became, especially, and talking about how she's putting together what happened with her mom, and she saw the scratches on her hands, and like, oh, maybe my dad did kill my mom, and then she just has to spend 10 years in Arkham. It's 10 years, I think, and she just comes out as what they made her. I mean, she was physically and mentally abused for 10 years, and she just couldn't get out of it. And I think that's like a very sad cycle to see, but I think it works so well in the show.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, of course, we'd love to hear your opinions about this. Make sure to subscribe, comment below. But yeah, what about Julian Rush?
Who's Julian Rush?
The Doctor.
So who is that? I saw people saying
he's from Luke Cage.
He is.
Yeah. He
I know that. I'm sorry. I know who you're talking about,
not the Penguin, the Scarecrow of it. With him and like being a doctor, in Arkham, and him treating all these like psychotic patients, and apparently in a background of a scene, there's the glove
looks very Scarecrowy. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get that, if that's gonna go anywhere. Interesting nod, but it's interesting to see his evolution of like he's just in there as an employee, a worker, and he gets attached to her. He helps her get out and helps rehabilitate her, and then becomes her like
live-in psychologist. Yeah, like and then
like they have that one scene where he's like naked in the chair, and it's like.
Well, and she has this moment with him of like, she's like, you're just trying to use me too, like everyone else. And that's, a big theme for her throughout this is like, she's sick of being just tossed around and tossed aside, like by all these strong, powerful men. And I think that it really works to show just her growth as a character, especially in that time in Arkham. And then when she goes after him, is like, you just want to use me too. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, obviously it never seemed like there was love, but like, maybe she was using him as well.
Oh, well, and I think that at that moment is when it
and he's like
switched,
I can be of use to you. Yeah. Like there was like an unhealthy relationship of use between the two.
No, absolutely.
Excuse you. Excuse you.
Oh, well, that's you usually say bless you. I say excuse me.
Yeah, true. Sorry. That did sound kind of rude. Sophia and Salvatore.
Yes.
We do see the demise of the Maroni crime family. And it's interesting. So they do it. There's like a marriage between Maroni, who's Italian, and his wife, who is Persian.
Right.
So the Maroni crime family is mostly like Persian people from this marriage.
Right.
Which is interesting.
It is,
it's a bit different.
I
it's
love
usually Italian mobsters.
What's his name?
Her.
Her, but also why am I forgetting his name?
Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown's I thought he was one of my favorite characters actually, and I do love how Oz doesn't beat him. He just has a heart attack. And then he's like, I beat you! And then he shoots him a few times.
He didn't get the finale.
Everything about
climax.
Oz, everything. It's fake. It's all bullshit. But he just knows how to twist it in a way that helps him. And he is a little fucking rat. And I love it. And I don't know if we've had such a flat
right. He's spinning all these factions,
and even in the moment you see him like working like when the Maronis show up and he's with Sophia, and he's like like he's just trying to get out of it, and then like you see that moment from her perspective where he's like, oh, just fucking leave her, like we just got to figure it out now. I don't know, like. He's just running from one fucked up plan to the next until he somehow.
I wouldn't know it's fucked up. I think
not always. I shouldn't. Yeah.
I think Oz is like a mastermind.
No, he's definitely a lot smart. He's way smarter than everyone thinks.
Again,
he is.
The fact that he can play like 3 or 4 parties in his favor and then against him, and then like turn on them and eliminate them like he does, is really calculated.
And even that speech he has when he's getting together all the mobsters, the what does he call it? He has the beer, and I can't remember the name he calls it, like the thing they're all getting together. And he gives a great speech. He's like, listen, everything you heard about me, he looks so good. He's like, it's true, I did it. And you know what? I'd do it again. Because guess what? I took the opportunities that were given to me.
Names.
And and he's like, any of you in my fucking position would have done the exact same thing. And it's like, yeah, kinda. Yeah, you're right, actually, Oz. So I can't hate the player. I must hate the game. I think he really is a smart character, and I think that's one of the more interesting parts about his character, that no one believes he's that smart. And you even see Sophia by the end realize
undermining,
this, like,
not because of his disability,
right?
Well,
no, that is why, just because of the way he
disability.
looks, like they don't think he's this smart guy, and he's this, and he's the devil.
When the Penguin is used, it's very much as an insult.
Yeah,
it's like. And it's funny. I think they kind of retcon that a little bit because the way they use in the Batman, the Batman's constantly calling him Penguin, but it doesn't seem like people actually call him that in his circle.
Right,
they do it to demean him.
I was going to say,
but
and I think
Sophia
that's why
calls him Oz.
Well, and I think that's why Batman is calling him Penguin, because he knows that's demeaning him, and from what I remember in that scene, like Penguin is like kind of like annoyed with him that he seems to be calling him that, but yeah, you're right. I like that idea that he is almost going to maybe take on that moniker now to be like, fuck you to everyone. Like, but he doesn't.
Oh, yeah. He's going to embrace it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always, embraced his disability. And
for
the
sure.
fact that he is getting people one up because he is undermined.
I definitely.
For just something that somebody gets from looking at him.
Absolutely. I do think, though, also that they played up his limp in this one more. Did you feel like when you watched the Batman, was he limping that hard?
I
just didn't notice it, which I think works. He's waddling, and I think it actually works very well.
It's a big limp,
and that moment where they show his foot, I'm like, oh god, that looks
terrible.
Look
at
and
what
painful.
he's living with.
Yeah,
it makes you again sympathize with him maybe
to a
little
degree.
bit.
Yeah, like again,
Right.
there's the line where once you find out he killed his brothers and you realize that, and then also by the end when he killed Vic. Like,
Oh, you jumped there.
dude, I did. I'm sorry.
You
like,
jumped there.
I had to.
was
Like,
like,
I really,
you know.
I really just.
What a moment, dude.
It's a sealing of the deal of like, no, he sucks.
So
He's awful.
When they were sitting there, and I'm like I'm not really thinking that.
Yeah.
And like that, talking. He's like, yeah, thanks for taking me in. I
his
really see you as
affectation, yeah.
family. The minute he says the F word, I'm like, he's dead. He's dead. And like, he's like,
And the way he does it.
He's like, you said it. Now I'm gonna fucking kill you.
See, I think he was gonna kill him regardless. Though.
Oh yeah. But the fact that he like had this emotional moment with him probably made it.
And he's like,
bit
family,
harder.
and then he's like, family's great, Vic, but family can weigh you down. Yeah, and then like that he just strangles him. Like he doesn't shoot him.
Wasn't ready
or
for
some
it.
like
Yeah.
impersonal
Clearly
like
couldn't have
thing.
fought
Like
back. Was not
Yeah,
ready
like
for
he
that.
just gets him and he strangles him, kills him, leaves him there, takes his ID
Vic Aguila.
and throws it.
Another rock in the river.
And all he had to do, man, was get on that bus at the beginning of the series.
Yeah,
like,
I really like Vic's character because you think maybe that the show is going to be about Vic and Penguin, and it's
To a degree, yeah,
it is,
yeah.
and there is a lot of time taken to get Vic's viewpoint. We get a flashback of the night of the Riddler's attack and Crown Point being flooded, and what it was, and how it was shitty before, and how it's even worse now. And his family and where he comes from, and his values and his family values, that all kind of plays into his rise and his, like you were just saying, his out with this girl that he kind of likes, not really a girlfriend, but like a girl that
possible, like somebody cares about. Obviously, they seem to have some type of
but not
romantic
like-
involvement.
Yeah, but not like girlfriend. Like they paint it a bit ambiguous, which I like. I think because it's not like oh, my girlfriend. It's like this girl that
I really like. That seems to be a good friend at the very least.
Yeah, and she leaves, and that's it. And like he decides,
And that's never
he decides to probably seal his own fate in the moment he rescued Penguin and
stayed there,
and took
like,
those Maroni guys out.
You're
and
absolutely
saved
right,
them.
man.
Yeah.
And
he basically killed himself.
And he did what his father wouldn't have wanted him to do. Like
Right.
he was like that point where he's like, my dad would be ashamed of me. Like I'm working with the
Right,
mobsters.
and then it
like-
doesn't matter because he can relate to Oz.
Yeah, and Penguin-
so he sees himself there,
And
a
he
little bit.
again he gives him a good pump up, and like there are moments where like it does seem like he cares to a degree, like truly, but then there is that side of him that does just seem to be pure evil. That's just like, no, I'm working to the top, and I don't give a fuck who I got to take out to get there.
We're gonna go to the top, Vic. Me and you.
I
really got the Penguin down.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, I got it.
I'm sorry, Vic, but I can't take you with me this time. What? Just fucking. Oh my god, really good. But yeah, he killed his penguin. He murdered his penguin. I mean, I'm sorry, his Robin. I should say.
Yeah.
And I just think that his whole arc is really at the center of the show. Obviously, besides Sophia, there are 2 to 3 incredibly strong story arcs within
And
this
none
show.
of them never lose it.
No, and like they
there's
all come
nothing
together in a
weak about this
satisfying
show
way. Yeah,
at all. Again,
I'm sure there's something I could find, but like, yeah, like
No,
it
man,
makes me want to I'd have to really think about it.
I hear you saying that, and maybe in time we'll find those
Sure.
flaws, but like, I don't really think there are any. I think if I really had to nitpick, I think Gotham feels a bit different to how it does in the movie, and I think that has to do with a lot of movie budgets.
Well, but also where they shot. So they shot in New York for this one, whereas they shot in it was Ireland, not Dublin. One of the big Ireland cities for the Batman. That's why.
Really?
That's why it looks so different architecturally and stuff like that.
I will have to admit,
I think it was in Belfast.
The
Ireland.
Gotham through line in the Penguin, it doesn't feel exactly the same. There
I
are
agree
some
with you.
scenes where it tonally matches, but it's not always there. Maybe that is my one negative, but like I don't think that's something a lot of people are gonna get hung up on. I'm certainly not hung up on about it at all. The Batman inclusion, you brought it up earlier. While I was questioning, I'm like, where the fuck is Batman? I'm really thinking about this, and again, I rewatched the Batman, and I'm thinking about who Bruce Wayne and where the Gotham Project is at that time, and I'm like, I don't necessarily think I'm confident that Batman at this point in time would be really aiming his sights on the big crime families. He's not there yet. I think he's still on the small fry. I think he's still trying to figure out what's going on with the Gotham Project after the Riddler, because that was his first big villain. So I think it makes sense that he's not just like gunning for the crime families.
Well, I don't think he knows who's running everything at this point too, because it's all in such disarray after this shit show. And I think also he is, like you're saying, he's reevaluating exactly maybe how he wants to do it, but also guess what he says at the first line of the Batman? I can't be everywhere at once, Gooch.
He cannot. Yeah.
He can't be everywhere at once.
The criminal
so,
element is here, but like he's going after just a criminal element that we're not seeing.
So you know what? This is actually bringing up a flaw for me. I wish the criminal element was more afraid of Batman possibly showing up at some point.
We definitely.
They don't even feel like he's a presence of like
literal no mention of.
Yeah, they're like,
Batman.
what about? There's no like, what about that fucking winged freak or whatever? Like, what if he shows up? Like, I think that would have gone a long way to show me that Batman is like a force in this universe that like people are afraid of
after this event.
Yeah, but maybe you could chalk that up to everyone's so fucked up after this terrible catastrophe.
And I mean, we get no Jim Gordon mentioned. We don't get Jim Gordon seen, but we do seen that one police. He talks.
Mr. Commissioner.
Yeah,
the commissioner. You need
no,
to
he's
get
not. He's not the commissioner.
Yeah, he's the commissioner.
Oh, maybe he is now.
He's the commissioner for
after
now.
he dies.
No, he was the commissioner in the movie too.
No, the commissioner dies. The guy.
Oh,
gives
right.
the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think he was the next in line.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he needs to get that checked out.
All right.
I don't know what's going on.
Stop.
Sorry. I can't get out. No.
That's just how
I'm stuck, Gooch. I can't get out of this. Yeah, that was a funny inclusion. But yeah, I think that would be my negative if I had to like pull out one.
Even he's like, well, I love when he talks to Sophia and he's like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's like, you slept outside all night? And she's like, yeah.
You're the only one alive?
Yeah.
Okay, suspect number one.
Yeah, thanks.
Really love the transformation of Sophia's outfits and her hair and the way she looks. With the mullet look and like, her
very 80s, right?
Between her
like,
being very sexual, like with, cleavage showing and like much more revealing in sexy dresses to like covering up my neck, like kind of hiding in a way, not as fierce makeup looks. And then like there are looks where it's that yellow dress with like the cleavage and, you can see her scars and she's showing who she is. But again, becoming her father.
Yeah.
In a different way, but her father nonetheless.
So there was something that was revealed by Sophia to the Oz's like girlfriend woman, where she's like Oz. She's like Oz knew like that Falcone was the murder, like was the serial killer. I don't remember that being like no, like I didn't realize. I mean, remember
him
when they
being
said that,
his right hand man.
you would think he'd have to know, right?
Yes.
I guess that's where that's coming from.
You brought that through line up earlier, and I didn't get a chance to speak on it. I love how they bring it up because, like, that is a through line with Selena Kyle, like figuring out that like he killed not only her mom, Selena's mom, but also all these other women, and also Mrs. Falcone.
Right.
Like. He's a serial killer.
Yeah,
he's like he's strangling women. He is the hangman.
Yeah, he is.
It's not Sophia.
No, it's not. And yeah, so that's the only thing I
she
guess
gets
from
pinned
that.
on that by Vicky Vale.
Right. They say Vicky Vale, really?
Or is it? No, wait. Is it? It's Summer Gleason.
Right.
Sorry,
But
Summer Gleason,
that is like a
who's
character,
only
yeah.
appeared in the animated series.
Oh, wow,
Summer
that's funny.
Gleason is a reporter in the animated series, so it was cool to see. Yeah, like that come back. But yeah, Summer's like, hey, like I'm working on this, and like you can help. And then she like does, and she pays for it.
I would love to see that. It's not going to happen. I know they've already said it. I would love to see this like universe interact with the Superman that we're seeing in Corn Sweat. I think seeing Corn Sweat and fucking why am I forgetting his name?
Colin Farrell?
No, the guy who plays Batman. Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Like seeing that Batman and Superman together. And obviously, you're not seeing the Superman yet.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool, like just because of how tonally dark this is.
When we were talking about Vic, and his death scene, and then we get like the that so Gotham looking penthouse, and then the Batman signal shows up, but like his mom being like wheeled out where she like overlooks the city. Like, not only has Oz made it to the top, but Francis has made it to the top as well.
He gave his mom
not in the way she was ever going to expect.
And she also she wants to be dead. Like, remember, obviously, he promises to kill her if she becomes a vegetable earlier in the show.
Can we go back to when Sophia takes her and
Yeah.
finds her
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like realizing that she's like she knows things and she's like an accomplice to all of this, but like she also is disabled.
Clearly has some type
Disabled.
of yeah. Well, she's like,
And he
what is
realizes that
disabled,
she
yeah.
has a problem, and that's when she gets Julian involved and stuff like that. But I think like that her like those two actresses when they're kind of like having that conversation, that's like really, really good.
It's visceral. It's really
And
fantastic.
he's kind of learning that he is just like her, and like he can't escape like the sins of the mother.
right.
Well, I mean, the sins of also himself, but Sophia cannot escape the sins of the father.
Again, it's the chicken or the egg thing. And even like Sophia goes to his mom, like, if you killed him, imagine how much fucking pain and suffering you would have stopped. Like, you are just as responsible in that like weird way. But again, you should take your child to a therapist, not kill them if you have the money, anyways. Yeah, I think that whole setup of her just wanting to hurt Oz, like she was hurt, like how he took away Alberto from her, because I thought that through line was great too, that he was the only family member that cared about her and was really trying actually hard for 10 years to get Sophia out, and then
Her
Oz,
brother,
yeah,
yeah.
and then Oz just caps him. And again, by the way, he wouldn't have capped him if he wasn't being such an asshole to Oz.
And like, I wonder if like Alberto being alive with we didn't talk about the what's the drug? Not drops.
Oh, Bliss.
Bliss, yeah, and like that being like the start to his rise, and like it really isn't. I mean, I guess it is. It's like a device to get him somewhere, but like that being like the plan to like get on top and like start this new drug that's going to take Gotham by storm, and it like does and doesn't happen.
You ever notice how in these movies, it's always like an inhaler or like something you drink, like a drug? Apparently, I didn't realize this. Well, if you make a drug injectable in a movie, or you show like an injection drug, immediate R rating.
Really?
Immediate R rating, yeah. Yeah, like drug use like that will immediately get you the R rating, apparently. So that's why,
So
like,
doing drops and
exactly.
But
That's
what
why
about
they're.
what about like smoking a joint or something?
I think that's different. I don't. I think that you actually no. That might still. I think you can smoke a cigarette in a movie still, but I don't know how that affects it.
But obviously,
like a joint,
drug,
I think
like a
that
narcotic
might make
drug
it
is
an
different
R.
than a
Yeah.
cigarette.
But yeah, so that's why think back even to like well, that was rated R, so I'm kind of surprised that was not an injectable or something like that. But most of these movies, like superhero movies and stuff like that, if they have a drug or something, you drink it or you like inhale it or you do something that you don't have to do that.
Drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Eye
I mean,
drops.
Bliss is a drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought Bliss is a drink. Then there's drops that they were using in the first one, like eye drops. Because remember, their mouths are red.
Right.
Yeah, because they're just
Yes.
drinking it, I think.
Yeah, the
but then,
mushroom juice.
yeah, the eye drops drugs from the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The drops. What else, Gooch? What are we missing? Anything? I feel like it's so funny. There's so like it's an 8-hour show, and I'm like,
No, I mean, I think we've kind of hit all the notes. Trying to, I mean, if there's anything from Vic we haven't talked about, again, like I think as the show goes on, his place in it gets smaller, which I like.
and
I
you
think
almost
it's a
don't even
bad thing.
realize it, like until he's like killed. You're like, oh,
He like really moves to the background again. Another one of Oswald Cobb's players,
Right.
Like, and a pawn for him to move on his chessboard and continue this game,
right. I do love where it leaves us with Oz being more
Yeah,
connected.
that's exactly where I was going
like,
to go. I mean, like, the criminal element of Gotham has changed. Oswald Cobb, the Penguin, is the source of crime in Gotham,
Right.
the sole source of it. So whatever that means for part 2 is going to be interesting. We'll see Oz again. We'll see the Penguin again. As for like what villain rises from this, is going to be interesting. We still don't really know where part 2 of the Batman is going to go.
my guess, and I don't think this is a crazy guess by any means, is Court of the Owls. Like, it just makes the most sense to me.
There was some very light setup
reference,
for that.
yeah, like what there's
And
like
even Hush, something like that.
See, Hush.
I want to see a route like that. I don't want to see like Mr. Freeze would be cool, and I think would make sense, and I think there's a way to do him. But like, we've never seen Hush. We've never seen Thomas Elliot. We've never really seen Court of Owls. Like, I think like getting personal with Batman villains and just like staying away from the Joker is really what I want to see. I mean, again, I think like said it like 3 times. I watched the Batman before the finale, and the worst part of the Batman is the Joker inclusion. Just felt so unnecessary.
I don't know. Like, we haven't had a proper Joker Batman movie since like 2008. Like, I'm totally ready for that again, personally.
Yeah, I'm.
Like,
I'm
it's
okay.
It's weird.
I mean,
like,
it'll probably be a part 3 thing.
Well, and that was the rumor, but then James Gunn squashed the TV. That was like part of the TV show rumor.
Yeah,
that he squashed.
But no, like, it's not fucking happening.
I think by the time you get to Batman Part 3, you've earned my Joker again. And the only thing I actually don't like about the Joker is that they went with the malformed, like, fucked up dude again. Like, I'd rather, like with the Joker.
Again?
Yeah, because, with Heath Ledger, his face was all... And even, like, with Batman 89, with Nicholson, with his, like, stretched face all the time.
Okay, yeah, good call.
I want a clean-cut Joker that has he just has a great smile, and he's wearing clown makeup, and he has green hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
not
even Leto's Joker's really.
He's
that.
like it's true. Like, take out the tattoos, and you might have that there technically, but yeah, that's what I would prefer. I don't need this like Elephant Man style, like fucked up faced person, but I don't know. I think Barry Keoghan is a good actor, so I think he could do something really good with it. But yeah. I'm curious to see where it goes, Gooch. I think part 2 is going to be, just because he's so committed, it seems, to the more realistic stuff as the Court of Owls. I want a Mr. Freeze. I do. I think I want.
You want an animated series?
I want a serious take at it. That's
whatever that episode that won an Emmy is called, Heart of Ice.
Yeah, like I want them to like actually
that's
do
what
that.
I want to see. Yeah.
It kind of freaks me. Not freaks me out is necessarily the right term,
but
it freezes me out a little bit. That he wants to stick. Jesus, who's the director? Matt Reeves wants to stick so hardcore to the grounded, which again, this doesn't feel as grounded necessarily as Nolan stuff. It's weird in some ways it does, but
Penguin
in most
is a
ways
pretty
doesn't.
like not grounded character in terms of like his look. He's a fucking weird looking dude, and they managed to do it well.
I was gonna say,
and
I think they make him
Farrell
as real
manages
looking as he can
to also kill the fucking game. Man.
I mean, it's amazing.
He's got to win an award for that role.
You would hope so.
Holy shit! If the Penguin does not win Emmys, I'm gonna be upset because this was truly my favorite show of the year.
Again, I forgot I was watching Colin Farrell from time to time. Like, I know that sounds like cliche, but like
Sunday 9 p.m. baby.
Yeah, I did watch this all like in a row. I let it build up.
Okay, so I watched it week to week, and like
and it was very satisfying, for me, anyways. But I think that does it for us, Gooch. Right on the Penguin.
I think it does, man.
All right, well, thank you all so much if you've been with us live on Twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really appreciate your time as always. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your platform of choice. We got a Facebook page, a Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. You can find all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to DelcoNerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time. Get out of here.